there was the show, and then there was a party at the Plaza.
Oh, man.
And I went to that party at the Plaza.
I got beef with that party again.
What's that?
I got beef with that party again.
What? Which is?
The 40th and the 50th.
Uh-huh.
Everyone's trying to talk, and these musicians get up and start playing.
Yes.
And it stinks. I want them off the stage. They're so loud.
You can't have a conversation.
You can't have a conversation.
Yeah.
We all want to sit and stand in various areas talking poorly about our contemporaries.
Yes! Thank you!
And you're out there trying to do an arcade fire? Get out of here.
Yeah.
I wanted to get a little spray bottle of water and just scoop them off stage. I was so mad.
Like you're training a puppy.
Exactly. No. What about us looks like we want to move our bodies and dance? We're all tired, and we want to speak lovingly but poorly of our contemporaries, co-workers, the show as a whole, and what the planning was like.
Yes.
And I remember at the 40th that, who's that guy?
I didn't get to go
fucking
to
Prince gets up.
Yeah.
And everyone talks about this like it's the greatest night in New York history. It stunk. They sounded like a wedding band. It was like Elvis Perkins, Paul McCartney, maybe Aykroyd, all of them just playing at once. Loudly.
Yeah.
And then Prince got up and we had to act like that was a big deal. I just wanted to talk shit with Bobby Moynihan.
Yeah.
It was such a bump. It's so not what this is about to me. Loud guitars. I was really mad. And then when I saw them start to plug in at the 50th, I left. I said, I can't do everything.
Okay. Well, here's
I know how to make a good party. We would lower the music and we would all quietly say slightly negative things.
Yeah. There were different levels at the Plaza, and I walked in and I decided I knew there was music, and I didn't go towards the music.
Yeah.
I stayed down. There was a bar.
Yeah. I ended up in the lobby where there were couches.
Yeah. Just hung out there. I went past the lobby. There's a bar area, and I'm standing at the bar area, and I had said hello to a couple of people, and I turn around, and Paul McCartney's standing right there, and I'm an insane Beatles fan. I've interviewed him a bunch of times, but I always assume, I think correctly, that he's met too many too many people in his life. So I don't say like, "Hey, Paul, you know who I am." We start chatting. I tell him I really liked the Golden Slumbers medley, and I like how the guitar parts at the end are so distinctive because the three Beatles played them. Paul first, then
really cool, dude. Sounds really cool.
I'm sorry. I know.
I like the three guitar parts. You fucking dork.
I know. I'm saying I know. I'm celebrating my dorkdom.
The three guitar parts because all three of you Beatles played them.
Yeah, I didn't remember the other one's name.
Yeah, all three of you.
And so
Joel and Roger.
But he's chatting, and he's like, he's talking about it. And we're having like a nice conversation. Goes on for a while. I said a couple of things about, I think a couple of nice things about more contemporary work he's done. He seemed to like that. And then he said, well, you've said some nice things to me, he said. And then he said, maybe you want to even it out a little. Like, you've said some nice things. Maybe you want to go the other way for the next comment. And I said, okay, you guys peaked.
Jesus. Oh my God.
I'm sorry. I said you guys peaked with the Quarrymen. Everything after that was shit.
That's great.
And he didn't laugh. He looked a little surprised, but I basically told him the group they had before they were the Beatles was the best, and everything after that was shit. And then I knew to walk away. And I thought maybe that's going to penetrate everything else he's heard tonight. Maybe he's going to wake up at 2 a.m. and go, did that fucker say that I peaked with the Quarrymen?
Well, like 3 people in Liverpool probably said that.
Yeah.
And it stuck with them.
Yeah.
Like when you was playing weddings, you was better. And they're like, it stays with you. And you go like, yeah, I'd like to see that lady see us now. And with the Tony McCartney insult, I bet his head was spinning.
Yeah. He didn't know. He was taking punches left and right.
My point, the thing I failed to say was that those conversations with Lauren, like, I feel like in a marvelous way, in order to get the collective heart rate where it needed to be, that show was not planned till much closer to it. I realized. I mean, you would know, but
I know
it really was. It was really fun. It was humorously down to the wire, and then it passed the point of humorous.
Yeah,
it was great.
I knew that would be the case because that's the way it has to be. I also knew,
and it got there, and it was really hard with a 2-year run-up.
And this is selling. Yeah,
he got it there.
Very hard
really
to do that. They announced 2 years out that they were going to be going to Mars with a rocket.
Yep.
And it's the night before, and they're trying to figure out where the nose cone is. And
they're like, or it could be Venus. And you're like to get everyone there with such a good feeling, but by Thursday to create an atmosphere where like me and Tina and Seth and Jost are running into each other going, what the hell is happening? Like that was real. That was a work of art. The stress leading up to it was a work of art.
Well, I selling out Jim Downey, but I know it was because Jim Downey was calling me, pitching things.
Oh, yeah.
To me, like
showing that full Bob Newhart sketch?
Yeah, a week before and saying, wait, I said, yeah, I think I'm going to be able to come, but wait, you want me to do something? I don't think I'm doing anything. And he's like, no, it'd be great. It'd be great. And also with Norm, you could do a Norm thing. But you could also do this. And I said, I got the impression, I started having the impression that he was wandering around the basement of 30 Rock with a phone and the cord had been snipped. Yeah. Like he wasn't talking. And so he was pitching things that I don't think had any chance of happening.
Well, he wanted to show in its entirety a cut sketch that Bob Newhart starred in called Dave's Superstore. Have you ever heard of it? It's like based on, those Midwestern stores like a Ben Franklin, which sells Hummel figurines and kites and any.
Oh, is it the store that has everything?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's, hey, do you have a crossbow made out of white chocolate?
Yes.
We have one. And so it's that bit with Bob Newhart. It sounded great. But in the middle of the 50th, Jim wanted to show it in its entirety.
Yes.
And I thought that was such a funny thing to be pushing within 72 hours of the broadcast.
Yes. And I was getting these calls from Jim like, so it's all planned. You're going to introduce a sketch. And
it's all planned.
The fix is in. You're going to.
Yeah.
And so I discreetly reached out to some other people who said no.
The best call was the Saturday before I was about to fly in for the week. And Jim goes, now, when are you going to be in the office? And I go, well, I land Monday at this time. He goes, but what time are you getting in? I was like, I'm not sure what time I'm arriving at the office. He goes, I will commit now to keeping banker's hours if you do. I will commit now to keeping banker's hours.